Okay, so I've made it here to the marina. The boat's in the water and she is looking good. It looks like she's been completely buffed out and not the same as the last time you saw her. I don't know if you can see the shine on here. Let me see if I can lighten this up a little bit. Well, yeah, should be able to see the shine back there on the hull. But anyway, the hull looks great. The white portions, the black portions, it is looking lovely. There's still a few little winter issues, but they're so small and they'll be really easy to handle. All in all though, the boat is just looking great and not as I was thinking it was going to look based on your description, Dennis. They've done quite a bit to clean this up. You can still see like some little black marks here. These will all buff off, but the rub rail, I'm not sure what the issue was there. It's looking excellent. Nothing here that I would think needs to be done. Just some more buffing issues right here. But all in all, this boat is looking nice. And you know, a lot of the issues you noticed, like the corner of the swim platform, when the boat is in the water, you can't even see it really. I mean, if you were to get down here and lay down on the dock, you could see it. But other than that, I'm not even sure I would do anything there. At least not at first. There are, you know, there's some rust here and there, but again, we're talking about some Scotch-Brite and some polish, and all this goes away. The teak looks the way it does because it had a coating on it, and that could just be sanded off. You can go to natural, you can recoat it. Again, a couple little rust things here. But again, that's just polish. Here's your tender. It has a really fancy mounting system that allows it to come off of its stand here and just rotate right onto the transom. The boat's in good condition. It could use a little cleaning, but I'm talking about a very little bit of cleaning. It looks fairly new. The most age you see is here on the rub rail. Again, this can be replaced. Let's see here. This can be replaced, but I'm not sure I would. I'd just run it. Now it has this system here for mounting, and I guess the point here is that you can go underneath it, which usually you can't. Dinghy starts right up on like the second pole, and this is old gas, so it started right up, and we'll just let it warm up for a second. So it's all warmed up now. This is a 2015 outboard, so real nice outboard, and just, you know, runs great. So I mean, it's only been running for about a minute on some really old gas. It's doing well. It shifts right here, so that's in gear. You can see it's working really well. Okay. Doing the reverse. Yeah, this all works. There's forward, reverse, neutral, kill switch. There's your surveyor, Kale. He's starting off his job here. And Pat got the boat all opened up for us. So yeah, things are looking good. All cleaned up.
I mean, they did a pretty nice job.
Nice. No smoke. Running good.
Straight towards that
triangle and then follow it down. So you can kind
So we're in single lever mode there, Pat?
We are?
We are?
Yep, so we're in sync. Yeah.
Excellent.
you see the green buoy out there, yeah, just head straight toward between the green and red.
How are we looking so far, Kale?
Looking good.
Excellent.
A couple things that I found, but nothing serious.
She's not going to sink.
No.
Okay. That's good, because it's freaking cold. I don't want to swim. Yeah, nice and quiet in here. Especially when you get, what RPM are you at? 700?
RPM 750.
Yeah, it likes that. It gets rid of that harmonic.
6.5 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean, this boat's completely cold. We just started it up and went, and it's very quiet in here. We got the heat running, generator running. Everything's looking good so far.
California, that would be the air conditioning.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. Or just the windows open.
Yeah.
Probably windows open and the AC running.
Yeah.
But not a very rattly boat. That's nice. So we're idling out here. Snow on the mountains over there. Very cool.
Autopilot.
It has AIS.
Yep.
Cool. Single lever throttle mode.
So the engines top out at 3,000 RPM.
Okay.
Okay.
Short boat, probably need a little tab.
Yeah, whenever you want, bring her up to 2 or 24, somewhere around there. Yeah, try like 24.
There go the turbos.
Everything's reversed.
Florida style.
Where they're slow.
running pretty good. Good line of sight. Nice and quiet in here. She is moving right along. How fast are we going?
Doing 23.5 knots.
27 mile an hour.
27 mile an hour. This is 2,500 RPM.
That's nice. She's a little tank. She feels pretty solid.
Yeah.
Nice and quiet in here too, considering I'm standing on the engines.
Yeah, temperatures look like they're holding steady about 180, which it would be normal.
Trying the autopilot speed here.
In auto right now. Very smooth. So yeah, like 2,600 would be your 80%.
So 20% is about 29 miles an hour, 80% load.
Yeah, about 20,
25 knots.
26
Yeah.
knots.
That's nice for cruising to Catalina. That'll work.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, we'll go wide open.
All right, here we go. Whoa, that's got some more in it, doesn't it? Kind of threw us back a little there. Very cool. Torquey.
Yeah, we're looking for 3,000 RPM. We're at 100% load, 100% throttle, 3,000 RPM. We're doing 30 knots.
35 mile an hour.
35 miles per hour, 30.5 knots.
What are we burning?
Here.
20 per side, 19 per side,
19 gallons per side. How many knots? 30 knots?
30 knots.
Excellent. This thing's moving. So nice and quiet in here. And what are we at? 80%.
80% is 2,600 is 80%.
So what's our burn rate?
Let's see.
And that was with tabs down, yeah?
I took a little bit of tab out. But
Okay.
there was some tab on.
Okay.
So we're doing 15 and a half per side.
15 and a half per side at a,
26.5 knots.
right, 30 miles an hour, 26.5, 30 gallons combined. That's very respectable.
Yeah, you can flip her around and start heading back.
Yeah, she turns. Can we do one trim tab at a time just to figure out exactly what we're dealing with there?
Yeah, I got it. Hang in. Hang in for this.
Yeah. Now she turns. This thing's a little scooter.
That comes right around real nice.
Yeah. At speed, she didn't fall off much at all.
No, we're still doing 27 mile an hour. Yeah, so it's just down is, so if we want the bow to come up, we'll hit the top. That'll lift the bow up.
We picked up some speed too.
Yeah. Bow coming up.
Bounces around a little bit more, but we'll go a little bit faster, a little bit bow high.
So with no tab, we're at 28.2.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and try one tab at a time. All right, there it goes.
Take that one back out.
I guess we're going against a little bit of a current right now where we were going. There was about a 0.5 knot current that we were going with, and now we're going against
Okay, but we're still making good speed. We're 28.5.
Yeah.
Laid over on our side. One seems to work better than the other.
The tab?
Yeah.
They're about the same.
Try that other one again, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me bring it back up on this side. And they're just slow.
Yeah, that's fine.
They work, yeah.
I prefer a little slow to a little heavy.
Yeah. That one's coming down.
There it goes. Cool. That's 80%. We're burning.
30 gallons an hour.
Yeah. 15 aside, doing 28.7, 28.5 with very little tab. Do you mind hitting the full throttle one more time? With the tabs the way they are? Oh yeah. So 32 miles an hour, 33.
I'll take the tab all the way out here.
Yeah. .9 burn rate per side, 33.5, going against a current.
Yeah, I got 29.5 knots against the current.
Yeah, 29.5 there, that's good. Yeah, she's a scooter. I'm impressed. Thanks, Pat.
Yep.
So we're headed in from the Marine Sea Trial. Everything looks pretty good. Cale will have a list for us of things he found, but as far as performance of the boat and how it handled and ran, that was really good. Everything did what it was supposed to do, and I was really impressed with how quiet it was, smooth that it rode. Burn rates are, really low for a boat of this size, and I think all in all, it's a pretty good one.
Hydraulic tape stuff,
Okay.
So, the owners, I'm sure the owner's aware that there's a little bit of a diesel fuel leak there.
And that's from the tank valve?
Yeah, it's, the tanks come together, the hoses basically come together in some fittings in a manifold, and where the fittings attach to the manifold, it's weeping a little bit of fuel.
Okay, probably an easy fix.
I'm just seeing if there's a little current in here. I'm not being late.
Yeah, no, I didn't think you were. I'd like to see that thruster though.
Yeah.
Let's lay on it.
A little bit of current in here.
Yeah, that's fine. The boat has plenty of power to maneuver. Yeah, that thing works. Let's see why they call him Captain Pat. They call him Captain Pat. Yeah, buddy. Look at that. And we're here. Nice job, Captain.
Okay, so yeah, just going through findings on the survey. Let's see, we're having trouble with the Fusion radio. It turns on, but it seems to be stuck in Sirius XM satellite mode for some reason. We were trying to trying to fix it, but we've been unsuccessful so far. So that needs a little bit more investigation to figure out what's going on there. Other than that, the floor is a little bit squeaky around the deck hatch here. Probably could be better. It's a little bit loose right here. Makes it a little squeaky, but that can probably be improved. Took oil samples on all the engines. So I took oil samples on both the engines, both the transmissions, and the generator engine. We'll send that in. Engine oil, there's only about 5 hours on the engine oil since the last oil change, but if there's something catastrophic, we'll still be able to pick it up, like elevated wear metals, water, seawater, coolant, that type of thing. So that's what we're looking for on that. Let's see here. Couple things I noticed on the engines: the seawater pumps on both port and starboard engines. There's evidence that they have leaked. Well, we have to look through the service records to see what type of service has been done. During our sea trial testing today, they were not leaking, so the leak wasn't active today. But what can occur is when they start to leak and then they sit for a while, they kind of build up not really corrosion, but just a little bit of marine debris in there, so that the engines will run for a period of time without leaking before they do start to leak. So we'd have to run the boat for an hour or two continuously and load, and then maybe we get seawater pumps starting to leak, but it's kind of undetermined at this point. If the seawater pumps do leak water out of the weep hole, then it's important to pull them off and either have them replaced or have them rebuilt. That's what creates the corrosion damage on the motor mounts that are directly below the pumps. So that's one thing that to me it looks like the seawater pumps need to be either replaced or rebuilt. Other than that, we'll look at the service records for the cooling system. The engines performed well during sea trial. Stayed basically at 180 degrees, 175 to 180 degrees the whole time, even wide open throttle for an extended period of time. We didn't get above 180, and there's no evidence in the engine room that we've got any water leaks in the cooling system or any restriction in any of the cooling system components. So the cooling system looks well maintained. The shaft seals have been replaced at some point. They're relatively new, the PSS dripless type shaft seals. They look like they're operating good. They will spray a little bit of seawater at wide open throttle, but when we're not running at wide open throttle, they don't spray at all. You can put a little plastic cover over the top to keep the water contained in the bilge compartment, but no issue there. A little bit of a diesel fuel leak on the back end of the engine room. So there's where the fuel, basically there's like a fuel manifold. So the fuel supply comes from the fuel tank and then it hits a manifold and then it splits off to hoses that go to both engines. Those fittings, where the hose fittings attached to the manifold, they've been wrapped in like the hydraulic line type hosing or hydraulic line wrap stuff that helps reduce hydraulic oil leaks. In this case, they're trying to do the same thing for diesel fuel leaks. It may be working a little bit. It's not working perfectly. There's still a drip of diesel fuel.
So is it a fitting that needs to be replaced, or the hose?
It doesn't look like the hose is bad. It's the fitting. So basically what we need to do is we need to take the fittings apart from the manifold and then put them all back together with either new fittings or some pipe thread sealant on there so that we can stop the leak. It's not no expensive parts there. It's really just labor costs of somebody taking it apart and putting it back together properly so that it doesn't leak diesel fuel. Besides that, I did have a little bit of an issue getting the refrigerator working, but I found out that it needs to, if we look at the panel here, the galley refrigerator is an AC 120 volt refrigerator, and it runs through the inverter, so the inverter will run it when you're not on shore power and not running the generator. But this circuit breaker labeled inverter needs to be in the on position for the refrigerator and for the AC outlets to work. So I had a little bit of difficulty figuring that out, but keep this inverter breaker on even when we're not plugged into shore power, because that needs to be on for the AC power stuff to work properly. Run through the inverter. A little bit of a water leak. There's a little bit of a water. It's a little bit wet in the lazarette bilge compartment. On the swim platform, they've installed staple rails, and there's some water leaking in around the openings where the staple rails receptacles are secured to the swim platform. Not uncommon. Swim platforms get wet. Those staple rails, when they're secured on teak deck planking, the sealant doesn't work very well, and water ends up leaking in there. It's something that you just kind of have to live with, or you can, develop a custom drain system that you somehow drain the receptacles out, or you pull them off basically once a year, once every other year, and reseal them, and just try to keep them clean. So there's no real good answer. It's not a ton of water. It's just a little bit wet back there, and every once in a while you just got to get back there and clean it out, and possibly leave some type of heater in there when you're storing it, just to keep the compartment dry. Other than that, let me look through my notes real quick and see what else I have. Not a lot. The boat's overall good condition. Cosmetically, it's pretty good. There's some, things that we would consider normal wear and tear, but nothing significant. Deck structures checked out, all good. Deck structures, bottom structure, good with the percussion hammer testing and moisture meter evaluation. No issues there. The bottom paint's probably a little bit worn out. It's basically due for a bottom paint job. One thing I find with the boats stored here in Anacortes out of the water is it's a little hard on the cutlass bearings. So the cutlass bearings inside the prop shaft struts will dry out when the boat's stored out of water. So you get a little bit of movement when you shake the prop. So the propeller, when you shake the propeller, the prop shaft will get just a little bit of movement. I don't think the movement was significant enough that we need to do anything, and then when the boat goes back in the water, they swell out. But next time it comes out, you want to check to see how much movement there is, and then potentially, replace the cutlass bearings if the movement's severe enough to need it. Right now, it doesn't seem like it. It's something that we want to monitor each time the boat comes out of the water. Freshwater system, we turned on the water pressure pump and we turned on the water heater, but the system has been winterized and the water heater is not connected, and all the freshwater plumbing is not connected, so we couldn't really run it extensively. There's no evidence that there's anything wrong with any of the equipment. It just needs to be plumbed back together and water added to the system. When they store these boats out of the water for the winter, we have to winterize things so things don't freeze. And the boat's coming right back out of the water. They didn't want to winterize. They didn't want to de-winterize it and then re-winterize it. So, but the water heater does draw power, so it is powering on. It's an indication that the heating element is working properly. And the water pressure pump powers on and it pumps water. I just didn't want to spray it all over the place.
Yeah, because it's all antifreeze, right? The red stuff.
Yeah, it's the red stuff.
And that, the ding on the corner of the swim platform, it's not too evident when it's in the water, but you saw it out of the water. Is that structural in any nature, or? No, that's there's a little bit of fiberglass cracking at that corner of the swim platform on the aft starboard side. The rub rail trim piece is bent a little bit. It's not significant. It's not a major problem. If you want to fix it, it can be fixed. It doesn't really need to be fixed. Those locations are vulnerable for little dock bumps, not too uncommon. It's something I'll note or, document in the report, but it's really up to the owner what they want to do. I wouldn't say that it's necessary that it needs to be repaired, but it can be repaired if you want to. Okay.
Batteries. So some of the batteries had dates, some of them did not have dates. I'm not exactly sure what the ages of the house bank batteries are. They are AGM, Lifeline AGM batteries, which are top of the line, and the DC power system performed adequately today. We didn't have any issues with the DC power system. All the batteries are strong and in good condition right now. Maybe we might be able to find service records that tell us when the batteries were installed.
Yeah, I forwarded those too.
Yeah, the one thing about Lifeline that's kind of a bummer. Lifeline makes a really good battery, but they don't put dates on their batteries. Most of the other manufacturers will put stickers with dates on them. So unless the technician marks them with a Sharpie when they get installed, they don't have dates on them. Yeah, generator ran great. It's only got 28 hours on it. It performed great. It looks brand new. Nothing wrong there. Air conditioning, we've got 2 HVAC units that do heating and air conditioning. We ran them in both heating and air conditioning modes. Both put out heat and cool air. We got up to about 90 degrees coming out the vents and the heat function, and we got down to around 55 to somewhere between 55 and 60 degrees on the cooling function. If we would have let it run longer, we probably would have got it cooler or hotter. But all indications everything's working properly. The seawater circulation pump is doing its job. We don't have any weird water leaks or corrosion problems or anything there. So that's good. Bow thruster works, 12-volt bow thruster, no problems there. All the appliances did work, so the stovetop worked, the refrigerator worked once I figured out how to get it turned on, the microwave worked, HVAC stuff worked, and we got the outdoor refrigerator, which also worked. Electronics work. The Garmin does GPS chart plotter and it does radar. The depth sounder is a digital depth sounder that the Raymarine is doing, and then the autopilot is Raymarine. So unfortunately, like the transducer used for the Raymarine depth sounder is not compatible with the Garmin. The Garmin is capable of being a depth sounder, but it would need a different transducer to do that. So, but we do have functioning digital depth sounder on the Raymarine, and then the Garmin is chart plotter and radar. Yeah, that's basically it for the deficiencies. The bottom checked out well. Nothing else to report other than the little. I took a video on. I gotta look back through my notes, and I'll send when I deliver the report. I'll send a link that'll access all the pictures that I took both today and when I did the bottom inspection. Yeah. And there's a couple of videos on there. I think I took a video when I was moving around the cutlass bearing just to show you what it was doing.
But you've hit the high points, so that's good.
Yeah, we've hit all the major things.
Do you mind dancing on that floor for a second? Yeah, and that's the only spot like that? Oh yeah, it does move. You can physically see it moving. Now, what do? You get underneath there and glue it back down?
Yeah, if you open this up, you can see that it's coming a little bit loose where it secures. Like this whole thing could come up. It's basically just like laminate flooring.
Or you could stick a needle under it with some glue.
Yeah, you can see it move a little bit. You see it kind of here too.
Okay. Yeah. It needs to be glued back down.
Yeah.
It's a plywood with a laminate on top.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't call the floor rotten or anything? It's just it needs to be glued down?
It's not rotten. Yeah, it needs to be re-glued. Yeah.
Okay.
Re-secured, fixed, however they want to do it.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, thank you, Kale. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.